Okay. Hello.
Hello, hello.
How
Nice
are
to see you.
you? Nice to see you too. It's always nice to see your smile and your beautiful energy spreading all around. I have a
Ah,
poetic tendency today. It's spring. It's the
yes,
change of the season, and I've seen a lot of advertisements and posts on Facebook about with flowers and colors and
ah,
a total change of the atmosphere, and I loved it. And that's
yes,
why I am poetic, a bit poetic today.
and so nice. And it's something about the spring and where everything changes as well. And like you say, with the colors and yes, so we are celebrating with some colors today, both of us, for spring, and look forward to this interesting conversation about values.
Hello, Julie. Hello, Mary.
Hello, how are
Welcome.
you?
Happy to be with us. Yes, about values. That's a really valuable live because
Mm,
when I first heard about values, and that was
mm,
5 years ago, I loved this theme, and I believe that it's the most valuable knowledge somebody has to have in order to be happy, to live a fulfilled life, and
mm,
to know towards which direction he has to go, he or
mm,
she
mm,
has to go. And
mm.
we join this from our previous life. That was, we were talking about changes, and that's where it came from, actually, the theme, the
Mm,
today theme, that if somebody knows his value, his or her
mm,
value anyway, um, it's much easier to go for a change because there is a direction. And Kehei Zenter, that's Mihalis. Where did
yes,
you
that's Mihalis.
find
He's
that?
practicing his Norwegian. Yeah, that's
Yeah, yeah,
excellent.
yeah.
Hey.
Hello, Mihalis. Hello, nice to be with us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, in order to make any change in life, it's very important to be aware of your
Mm,
values because that's the element that will give you first will give you the motivation to do it, and secondly, when you succeed it, you will be satisfied and
mm,
fulfilled. Do you
mm.
agree?
Absolutely. And I kind of have this picture of values as our backbone, our spine in the body. It's like the spine. So when we know our values, like 3 to 5 values,
Mm-hmm.
that's like making us taller. It makes us more confident and calm and secure. And it's also so easy to make decisions because
Yeah,
then you know what's right for you and what's,
correct.
no, but thanks, but no thanks,
Mm-hmm.
without
Mm-hmm.
having this internal kind of war about should I do this or should I do that, so it gives a lot of clarity and calmness and the backbone of you as a person.
And it's actually a way to recognize, for everybody to recognize the uniqueness that we carry inside us.
Mm, mm, mm. Yes, I
Because
think that's a good point you say
it's
there. It's
it's unique.
exactly, yes,
It's unique.
absolutely.
I may have hello again, hello Lakis. We were
Yeah,
together with Lakis in a webinar before,
yeah,
and
yeah,
we just
exactly.
yeah, yeah, we follow.
And I say he follows
Um,
you. That's good.
I follow him and he follows me.
Yeah, yeah,
So
that's a win-win.
win-win situation. Yeah. So what we were talking now?
About the values, and it's so unique to each and every one of
Unique,
us.
the uniqueness.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
And that is also a great parameter of the uniqueness of everybody, of each of us.
Mm.
Hmm? Good.
Absolutely, and I think it's so. When we say the word values, it's like a lot of things come into mind. We
Mm-hmm.
have values in our society, we have values from the family, from friends, from work, and companies have company values, you know,
Of course.
and they're like, I guess it's right to say that at one point it's like the backbone within you and to be your unique self. At the same time, it's this compass of direction, you know, where to go and what is leading you along that way. So it's kind of like these little stars pointing to your path as well, that you know where to go. It's lighting it up, and you are, you know, determined to you know where to go, and because of your values, and you're so secure about them, and that's how it is so valuable. Basically, it's really, really a treasure, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's good that you said about the company, the values of the company, because even the company is an entity. It's a alive organism. Okay, and in my opinion, it's good to diverse and make different lists about the values in your personal life and values in your professional life, because they can they cannot be the same. Hello,
Exactly.
Elena.
Hello.
Yeah, they
And
cannot be
that's
the same, and they
no,
shouldn't be
and
the same actually.
no, and that's why it's so interesting. And also, I think it's important to point out that our values change as well over time. You know.
Hello, Thanos. A lot of friends with us today. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for being
Yeah,
with us.
that's good.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
No, so it's something about even when you have found your values for you as a person, for instance, um, it's kind of important also to note that these values, they can change, and they do change with age and with whatever you do. You know, you grow and you rethink things, and so these values are kind of alive as well. For they are not sort of written into stone, but they lead you and guide us like this compass of where to go. And it's really, really, I guess that one word I would put on values would be to be very calm and be very aware of your decisions, of clarity.
Present.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that was very well said, because it's impossible not to change your values during the life. It's not possible for somebody on the 20 or 25 years old to have the same values on the 30, 40, 50, and so on. The needs are changing, and the wants are changing. So it's wise to reconstruct the values in order to be able and succeed the goal that you have set. So values are, let's say what values are. Values
Yeah,
are what is
absolutely.
the most important for each of us in life. What makes you happy? What makes you fulfilled? What makes you feel that you are alive and that you are giving life the value that you should? And that identifies you as a person, gives you the motivation for action, and shows you the direction where to go and how to go, because values is also how.
Yes, and I think
And
it's yeah.
say,
You go.
say. You go, you
Yeah,
go,
I
you
think
go.
it is. It is. It might sound, you know, what are values, and if we use the example with the company values, I know a lot of companies, and I work with quite a few companies, and a lot of them have values, and a lot of them don't know what the values. They might know what they are, maybe one, maybe two, but a lot of the employees, they don't know the values. And that's where that terminology value is misused, you know, because
Correct.
we just get some values and we have them, but we don't know them, and we don't know why they are there and how they're going to guide us towards our goals.
Correct.
and so I guess it's it's kind of how you behave, it's kind of what you believe in, it's morality, and it's what you as a person is can sort of not negotiate about. You know, it's non-negotiable, your values.
Yeah.
You know.
Non-negotiable. Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
yeah.
Correct.
And why that is so important, I think, when things are non-negotiable, that gives you a lot of freedom. It gives you pride, and it gives you also sense of feeling confident and secure within yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So when you say, okay, I think in an example, for instance, if you're going to look for a new partner, for instance, or if you're going to look for someone, or if
Hello,
you meet them.
Yanis.
Hello, Janis. And you have some, not criteria, but you have some values. You know, you want that person, for instance, to be honest, or because honesty for you is important value, or it's an important value to have, to be yourself with everything that we are. And so if you meet that person, you know exactly if that person shares the same values or not. And if that's a really important value for you, it's so easy to say, okay, either you have it, that's perfect, fantastic, we have like a common ground, or you don't have it, and that's also an easy choice. Then you are not for me. Then you are for someone else that have values that sort of matches.
Hello, Alex. Love and
Hello,
hugs.
Alex.
Love and hugs to
Love
you
and
too.
hugs. We should do this big hug like that.
Big spring hug.
A spring hug, yeah. So I think that is it's really a big theme talking about values, because it is like you say, it's your professional life, it's you as a parent, it's you as a best friend, it's you as, you know, a colleague, or whatever roles that we have values attached to them. Yeah.
And you know, yeah, of course. And you know, Katrine, time is limited. We only live once. And as the sooner we realize what's the most important for us, the sooner we will start living our lives, and not the lives that somebody else has indicated for us. And allow me to say that there are people that arrive to an age of 60, 55, and still they don't know what is the most important for them. And don't go far away. For me, I found out the values for 5 years ago, okay? And that was the most valuable knowledge that I got in my life. And there I realized that my values, for example, is trust, most important value, trust, respect, love, connection, and later the success and the career and the wealth. I mean, okay, that's also very important, but not as important as the first four that I said: connection, trust, respect, love, and interaction with the people. And that's why I'm really happy that I have chosen on my 45, I've chosen to change direction in my professional life and start doing something else. And I feel fulfilled. I feel happy.
Yeah. And that's a key word right there that you say, fulfillment and to be happy. That's what values do to us. They make us fulfilled, and they make us happy, and they make us also kind of, it's a little bit like an investigator when you look for the values in a way, you know, like we're starting with, oh, what's important to me? Because normally we think a lot about other people, you know, so we don't necessarily sit down with a cup of tea or something, whatever, and
Whatever.
you know, and just have a little think about, what do I think is really important? You know, what kind of lights me up and what sparks my fire? So it's excellent to do this in a process with with someone that can help you to map out your values. And also what happens, I think it's a good example with someone that might say, for instance, that money is a value. It can start with that, for instance. And then when you dig into what really is money for you, what can it do for you? Why is it important?
What money represents for you, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like this onion again that you peel until you come into the core.
Correct.
And in the core, there might be freedom, you know? So the value might start with money and you peel it into freedom.
Very well said. Very well said. Yeah.
And this is, I think that's a good example on trying to get our head a bit around values, because it's a big, big theme. And, you know, things that we can't touch become also maybe sometimes difficult to put a grip around.
That's true. That's true. Let's say hello to George from Crete. Hello, George from Crete. Kisses from Athens and Norway.
Yeah.
Hello, Michael.
Fantastic.
Hello, Vicky. Thank you for being with us. Whatever you want to ask, you can write it down and we can discuss it with you, because this live is an interaction. It's not only us speaking. Okay. So that's why the values, the knowledge of the values is very, very important. And another thing that I would like to point out is when somebody decides to write down, first of all, how do you find, does somebody find his or her values? And one of my suggestions is, and what helped me in the beginning was to realize, actually to recall a peak moment of my life and find out what was going on in there, what was fulfilled. And on the other hand, a disaster moment in my life and find out what was missing from there.
Yeah.
Maybe is an indication of what is important for each of us, because on the peak moment you feel happy, you feel blessed, you feel inspired, you feel motivated, and on the other side you just feel that there's no meaning, you know, and what am I going to do, and all these negative feelings, all these feelings that are not positive. And I think that that's a nice way for people to find out what are their values. What do you
and
say?
I think that's a fantastic comparison, because it's about, we have all had fantastic moments in life where we are basically lit up, and the heart is jumping for joy, and everything is really, really good, like spring. Everything comes out in all its colors in life. And to be curious about this moment, to exactly go and investigate it. Like you say, what's the little difference or little things that really take something within me? Because here we have to connect with the emotions that we have. It's not only the head thinking, it starts with the head, but it connects straight to your emotions. And that's where you can get that, all right, it's this thing. It's when I was out with lots of people or dancing, you know, whatever. I'm just, you know, making things up.
Yeah.
And also that you say the comparison with an incident that was negative or didn't give you much. Then you can know what need to be in that situation for me to light up.
To light up, yeah.
So I think that's also a good question when you look for values, that you can kind of ask yourself, what gives me energy? What gives me the most energy? What makes me light up? Basically, I like that metaphor, because something then is triggering something within you. Yeah. And just to start writing down, and I would also like to say that values are a process that need to take some time, because your subconscious is working without you knowing. And then suddenly you can kind of, when you have started ask yourself the question, what is important to me, what lights me up, what gives me energy, suddenly you can sit at the table eating breakfast or having a look at the beach in Crete, looking out to the sea.
In Crete.
And then suddenly, or somewhere, not in Norway, and something pops up, you know, like, whoo, there it is, from anywhere, you know, these little moments that we experience. So it's something about...
Thank you, Hannah.
Yeah, thank you.
You can see the comments, yeah?
Yeah, I see the comments, yes. I say Efaristo, that's what I say, and I will practice my Greek.
Bravo!
Yeah. No, so it's something about this theme. It's like, it's so exciting to go on this little adventure to explore and put yourself first. You know, when you drive the car, you are the driver, aren't you? You know,
Yeah.
and it's the same with this. So put yourself first and kind of go out and look for your values, what are important to you, like a little bit of a discovery adventure.
You know, Katrine, especially during all this period that we are stuck with the social media, the Facebook, the Instagram, and everything. They're very nice because they give us opportunities to connect with each other, but at the same time, the overuse leads to, sometimes, not always, leads to maybe comparison. You know, you see a photo and you think, okay, she's like that. What am I going to do? What am I doing? What am I doing wrong? What can I do? And you don't realize that each of us has its own values and its own perspective for life, its own goals. Seeing somebody that most probably won't have the same values with you doesn't mean that you are not enough, or you devaluate yourself, or that you're not going to reach your destination. Your destination is unique until you know it, and until you know how to reach it. And a way to reach it is to find out your values in order then, after you reach it, to be a happy person.
And I love that you say that, because again, it all comes down to we have this one ticket to life, and we are the main person, even if we sometimes forget we are. And to be looking for your own values that are only yours. And even though also with, for instance, with the example where you start with the money and you come down to that freedom, that is really a big important value for me. What you put into freedom is not necessarily the same as I or someone else will put in. So that goes to show also that we all are unique, even if we share the same name of the value. The content is something different. And it's so important, like you say, that we go after our path, our destination, or our journey. It's all the time our journey that we are walking on. So it's like, stop looking at all these fantastic pictures that look this and that, and that's, you know, behind what we see, there are so many stories as well. Of course. So I think that values are really helpful with finding a job, finding out more about who am I. That might sound like a big question, you know, but to sit down and discover a few things about ourselves. That I remember when I did that with values myself, I realized that some of the values weren't even mine.
Yeah,
they were from someone else, you know. They were inherited from traditions and grandfathers or whatever. So it's something about becoming aware that, what do we have here? Something that is not mine. That means that I can put that away and I can continue on my journey and look for my little stars that are my values, that are only mine. And that give me that calmness. That's also a relief, I think. What do you think?
I love what you say, because a lot of people use to live their lives according to the values that some others have dressed them with.
Mm.
I don't know the exact word, but we have worn a lot of values from our family, from our society, from our friends, and we think that they are ours. They're not. And only if you sit down alone with yourself and thinking and recalling some moments, not periods, because from moments you can take out the values, what happened in that moment, and write them down. Okay, write from 5 to 10. You don't need more. And then the action that you should do after that is prioritize them. What is the most important for you? What's the first, what's the second, what's the third? And that takes a lot of time to do it. Hello, Katerina. Thank you. Thank you for your comment.
Yes, thank you.
It takes a lot of time if you want to be true to yourself and use this list as the compass in your life.
And I find with values, it's if you look upon it as you are on an adventure, you are on a journey to kind of discover. It gets exciting and it gets interesting, and it also clearly maps out the values that are not yours. And that does something to you, just to discover what you say there. It kind of sets you free.
Of
And
course.
you go, aha, wow, why? Okay, that's maybe why I reacted like this, or why I have held myself back, or, because I had this inherited value that I wasn't conscious about. So it's basically to bring out, I like to use this iceberg. Icebergs, there are not so many of them in Crete, or in Greece, I mean.
Greece.
Not in Crete at all.
True. That's true.
Not so many here in Norway either. But anyhow, this iceberg metaphor is that what you see, or maybe what you think immediately, are your values. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then when you start, like if you see money, just to use that example, it's kind of on over the sea, over the water. And when you dig in, you will find freedom that is underneath. And that's the subconsciousness. That's the little blink that makes your heart jump, that makes you get energy from, or that makes you happy, like you say. And that is this journey that I understand that you explain it. It takes time to discover, because you start with something and you're going to peel it into the core.
Yeah.
And that's exactly. Like a process where your whole self and subconsciousness it's like taking it from the subconsciousness and bring it up there for you to see it, to look at.
And then you meet, maybe this will be the source for a lot of answers in questions throughout your life.
Yes.
This could be the answer. Mihalis is asking, do we pass our values to our children, or they find their own in the way? What do you say?
Well, I would, this is like a fine balance, I am a mom for my now 16-year-old boy. And
the great Armando.
Yeah, yes. And in a way, I want him to think about, what's important, what do I think is important, how do I want to behave. So I guess I'm influencing him a bit, because I would like him to have like values that are useful to him. I would like him to take in as much as he can. But at the same time, I want him to think himself, because he is a unique human being, and he is kind of on his own journey to find out what is important to me, So I think we can easily put our values on others, like on children, but at the same time, when we are aware of it, that there are something called values, we can sort of ask them question or start a little bit of a process so they can start to reflect. And with the reflection, that's where you come and discover this. Yeah, this lifts me up. This makes me want to dance. So it's something about this. And it's a great question, because a lot of people don't think about values as something that we have. We have family values or company values, or so it's
values. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
What I would answer to that is that for sure, family, parents pass their values to the children, but then it's their responsibility to find out their own on their way to life, because that's the normal sequence. Actually, parents have values. The most normal thing is to pass these values to their children, but if they don't take it for granted, and they search with curiosity and with the tendency to find out their own, that will change. So it's half responsibility of the children and half responsibility of the parents. That's how I have it in my mind.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of similar how we look upon exactly that question. And I think again, what's interesting is that what values do I pass on? And because when I become aware of the values, I can see, are these mine, or have I been passed on from my parents?
Yeah.
And when you start to look at this again, you kind of, it's like, in springtime, if you've been inside in the winter, now you take out all the rugs and the pillows, and you kind of go dust it off. You air out your house, you clean it out, open the windows. It's a little bit like that with values as well. I think you can clear out the things that are not your values, and you can say, okay, here you are, but you are not any longer part of my path with my special kind of lights and stars, and these are what I'm looking for.
Yeah. And how does this clarity gives a clear vision of the decisions that you should make during your life? How important is to have this clarity, because then the balance of yes or no gets very small, and from the first moment that, okay, is it aligned? Is this offer, for example, aligned with my values? Let's go for it. Is it not? Let's see. Can I reprogram? Is there any benefit for me or for the people around me? Let's do it. Otherwise, no. I just deny. It's life gets easier, actually.
Yeah, and it's exactly, it gets easier, and you get more confident, you get more calm, and you don't waste thoughts about should I this or should I that or blah blah blah. You don't have this chaos. And it's a good example from myself, when like I always used to say yes to everything. Yes to this, yes to that, yes to, and I ended up running around from.
That's why you're my friend.
Yeah, but from one thing to another to another to another, and it was fun to have to be with all these action and people and all these things happening. But at the same time, I was kind of running after myself, meaning that I said yes to things that I didn't really want to do. And this is exactly what happens when you find your values. You can say yes, and you know that this I would love to do it. And you can say no thanks with the same calmness of just going, aha, fantastic. I say thank you, but no thank you, without having this war inside.
Internal war, yeah.
Yeah. Should
Correct.
I, shouldn't I, or what if they say that? What about this? Blah 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 blah. We all know it. We are familiar with this inner demons, or whatever I should call them, little voices talking.
Of course, of course.
So it gives great calmness, solidity, power, and clarity with finding your values, and it's cause for celebration when you find them, isn't it?
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah. I totally agree. And now that you were talking, it gave me an idea came up to my mind that in that way, knowing our values maybe lessens the influence of the sabotaging inside, the saboteur inside us.
Yes,
huh?
absolutely,
Because
absolutely.
yeah, the clarity that we have lessens the influence of it. Yes, let's start the Yesers Club, Katerina. I know.
Yeah, that's cool.
A lot
Let's
of
do
people,
it.
a lot of people. Yeah,
Yeah,
suffer from this Yesers Club.
yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, and the sabotage gets in a minimum surface inside us, and that gives us the opportunity to act according to our wants and the way that we want to the path that we want to drive our life. It's like an airplane, actually. You know, you have the airplane, you are the airplane, you have the wheel, and you are the pilot. You have to know where to go. If you don't know where to go, you will just fly, and there will be no ending. And that's not the goal of an airplane. An airplane has to go up, and at a certain point go down. Huh?
Yeah.
That's the destination. That's the whole drive.
Yeah, and I think that's a good metaphor for it, because it gives you kind of direction for where to go. And it's like you say, if you don't know where to go, you end up anywhere, basically. And you can end up in places where you don't want to be. But I think it's another thing that you mentioned, that I think sometimes it can be difficult to know, okay, what do I want with my life? You know, what am I kind of put on this earth to do? And that may be a big question, yeah.
Of
But I
course.
strongly believe that each and every one of us have special gifts that only you guys have. You know, we are like the fingerprint. It looks similar. We have, like, most of us 10 fingers, but some have longer, some have shorter. But when you put it down, you have your fingerprint that is uniquely yours. No one in the whole world has it.
So nice metaphor. I love it.
And that's exactly the same with the values. You know, these are your fingers, your prints, and your backbone that make you exactly who you are. And when you know more about your values, who you are, like this onion peeling into the core, then your path becomes clearer. You see more, you feel more, and you're more content. And then you see, aha, this is the direction I'm going. So normally I guess it's very blurry for all of us. But when we find the values, we start to open our eyes and we start to see our path. And when we see our path, like a plane going to Greece, all Norwegians want to go to Greece. Yeah, we long for the
You're
sun.
playing to Greece.
Yeah, you know, that's where you kind of get this fulfillment that you talk about, this purpose, this fulfillment, this one ticket to life that is amazing, because I don't have to struggle with, should I do this or maybe that, and then you just end up maybe doing nothing or taking the wrong
most probably because it's crisis. Then the crisis come.
Yeah,
And that's the way that you really enjoy life, and you live the present. You don't live in the past. You don't wait for the future. You just live the present, because you have chosen that present. You have stayed up on to your values, and you live what the present gives you, and you enjoy it, you feel it, you sense it with your body, with your heart, with your mind, with everything. And that's the magic of life, actually. Yeah?
And that's where the values is like this backbone, this like the fundament. When you build your house, you like it to be a quite good fundament, so you don't risk it falling down. You know, you want to build it, so this is where it is. No matter how much wind there is, and rain, and storms, and lightning, the house would be there, and I will be in the house. And that's like the same foundation for the values as well. And I would like to add, you know, when you start this adventure looking for your values, like this curious investigator or observer, start with writing down everything that is important to you, and maybe what lights you up, what gives you a good feeling. And that could be just to go outside and it's a sunny day, or you know, you can hear the birds in nature. You know, that could be just little things.
Of course.
And it starts with these little things, and then, what is really here, and what's behind here, and what's behind here. And I want to add that when you get your 3 to 5 or even more values after this period of time, they are all important. That means you need all of them. All of them must be present. But one or the other is a little bit more important, like you say. Number one is it's a little bit more important, but they're all valuable. They're all your backbone,
of course.
Your foundation for your house. Yeah. So I think that's important to say that. I guess if your values are not there, if you do something against your values, and even if you don't know your values, you feel it.
A bell will ring.
Yes, and we have all this feeling that we have been done sometime in our life that we go,
of course,
you know,
of course, not once, twice, 3 times, 4 times.
But this is exactly, and this is such an interesting. Instead of going, oh my God, why did I do that? Go with your curious eyes and look at the incident and see, what triggered that in me? What gave me that feeling of ooh? Because that ooh feeling, that's that value talking to you.
Yeah.
That's
true.
the unconscious underneath the iceberg, underneath the water.
Yeah. And some useful questions for our friends here that could lead to their values is, first of all, write down everything that you think. Everything. Is it nature? Is it courage? Is it love? Is it connection? Is it offer? Is it compassion? Is everything. And after that, just put some number in front. 1, 2, 3, first, second, third, and then ask yourself, why is that important to you? And how that has helped you in your life to decide something that you were very happy for choosing. Question and question and question. Whatever is the answer, question on the answer. And finally, it's like what you said with money and freedom. And finally, you will find out the core of the onion and see why this is important for you. And maybe you will change and say, it's not so important for me. And change your values. It's a whole procedure, and it takes time. You have to be determined to do it until the end in order to find your own real values.
Yes, and I like to add, even if it's the process, it takes time. But I want also to add that trust the process, that when your head is not giving you the answer, that's a good sign. When you go, oh my God, I don't know what's important to me. Oh my God, I have to stop this. When your head is giving you that, that's so, like I say, a very good sign. That means that your subconscious is now running to find the answer that your head doesn't know. So it's something about leaning into the process, to trust the process, to give it 3 months, 4 months, maybe more, and just discover little by little, and you will notice. Like suddenly you can sit, do your work or something, and then like a light bulb moment, the light bulb just starts to, whoosh, there it is, you know, and it comes from nowhere, you know. So I think it's so important also to notice that you don't have to sit and write and write and write. My suggestion is to write something down and then go for a walk. Don't think about it for days, and then suddenly it pops something back up. Because your whole, you know, when we look in the mirror, this part here called the head and the face is really a very small percentage of the whole body. Yeah.
Really small.
So we have to realize that this head here has a lot of wise and intelligent thoughts and the ability to be smart, but at the same time, it's even more intelligent when it's connected to your emotions, to your feelings.
Yeah.
Because that's the answer for yes. Freedom for me is, you know, to be able to walk outside without the police checking my identification papers. You know.
For me also. I totally agree.
Yeah. But you know, things like this. So it's like, and that's something that you wouldn't trade for anything. You know, that's something that I will keep. I have to have my freedom, and that's non-negotiable.
Yeah. True.
You know, so I think,
yeah. Say. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I just think that is when you start your journey, your adventure to your values, do it with fun, you know, and ask yourself what makes me happy, what gives me energy. And also, I think there are 2 good questions to ask as well, and that is, what makes me angry? What really makes me angry? You know, what do I
it's the away from.
Yeah, exactly. You know, what do I absolutely hate, or what makes me angry? What really makes me, you know, because then you know you get a lot of answers from there as well. It's because it says something about you as a person, and our values are basically the stars lighting up our path. The plane, the onion, the iceberg, the foundation on the house. No matter how much it storms, you are solid, calm. It's like in the eye of the storm, having your values, you're like, here I am, calm, and this is me. So it's really, and values change all the time. Like sometimes values can be very important when you are younger, and then now you realize something that I thought was really important and part of me is no longer important or part of me.
Yeah.
It's like you changing your jobs, you know, went totally different career paths. Who would have known? You before? No. But now you did it, and then you discovered by being on your journey for your values, yeah?
And what is the second question that you wanted to add? The first is what makes me angry, and the second one?
Yeah, well, I was gonna.
I'm writing down. You know, I'm the kind of person that writes down everything.
That is very good. Then you have everything. Yeah, no, it's about what makes you angry, like really angry, or you can also ask. Another question is that you can ask what makes you angry, or you can what do I really hate? Like it's a bit terrible to use the word hate, but you know what really makes me mad. You know. It's like what irritates me, or what makes me really
irritate. I like that word most. Irritating.
Yeah, but it's something when you know what makes you really mad. Like, for instance, for me, that is injustice to people. That really makes, if people are not being treated equally with respect for one another, I really go mad.
So
So that
justice is
means,
one of your core values.
no, it's not justice. It's just let me use this as an example, because it's actually acceptance. That's the value, but it comes from that incident, because when you really know what makes you mad in the world or whatever, you can ask yourself, okay, like for this example, it makes me mad when people are not treated equally and people talk negatively to each other without respect. And when I dig into this, okay, what is there that is really the core in the onion? It is acceptance. It is accepting everyone as they are, you know? So, but it starts with this wondering when you know that you get really mad, because when you get really mad, it hits something within you. If you get irritated, yes, that's also valuable and it's useful. But when you know what really triggers you, like you want to go, wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of value.
How valuable that is for the relationships also. I mean, whenever we meet somebody new, somebody that we don't know, and we discuss, it may be appropriate from the first meetings to share with each other what values are important for each of us. Because if somebody wants adventure, wants traveling, wants new experiences, and the other one is value is safety and quietness and peace, and how can they get together? They will be unhappy, both of them. I mean,
and especially,
it's very, very important.
Yeah. And I think that the example is brilliant, because it has something about, imagine going on a holiday, a vacation with with one wanting to do blah 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 and the other one, and then you can get conflicts, you get problems, because you don't know what are the other person's values. And so again, great example of how you influence relationships, building these bridges by knowing the values of what we like in a holiday, for instance. That's a good question. And then you have your values for a holiday.
It's the basement for a relationship, because even though they might not have the same values, at least they know each of them their values, and they can find a common line. But we should let the other person know in order not to have conflict all the time. There is a way, and for sure there are people that they don't have exactly the same values, but they find the way to meet each other somewhere in the middle. If they know, if they don't know, they will be always in conflict.
But it's quite interesting if you kind of ask your partner or friend or something about values. And that's a kind of a good little exercise as well, if you want to explore what values another one that has. It's about, question about what lights them up, what gives them energy, and then they can also get the clarity about this, because I'm telling you that unless you work with this as we do, no one sits down with this glass and have like a conversation with yourself unless you are familiar with this concept of values and how important it is. And I think the most important, the benefit of values are that you become I like to use the word taller because to be tall,
The word.
to be tall, to be upright, to stand upright, you know, not like this, but to stand upright, like the proud, calm, and secure and confident person that you are. When you have your values, you can easily say, thank you, but no thank you. Yes, that I want, that I don't want. And you can be standing there proud still without having this sabotage and internal war going on. You get rid of that because you have taken out all the pillows, all the carpets, aired out the windows, and you have cleared all the values, all the stars in the sky to just find a few, 3 to 5 to maybe more. Bang, bang, bang. These are my stars towards my path. And that's how I can be calm.
You know, even though sometimes we are obliged not to follow the exact values that we have, at least we are conscious about that and we do it with our acknowledgement and with our approval. You know, that's a big part because, okay, there might be some times in life that you have to surpass your values for different reasons, for many reasons, but at least you know and you do it consciously. And then you don't have to fight with your own self. Why did I do it? Because you know why you did it. And then
exactly. Okay. Yeah. And that's a fantastic point. And I think that's really important to take from this conversation, exactly what you say there. It's you that can be true to yourself, to your unique personality with the gift that you have.
Yeah.
And that you know that, okay, now I trade my freedom for something else.
Yeah.
Just as an example, yeah. And it's okay. It's okay. Because you give yourself approval. Yeah. And it's at the end of the day, you know, there's one person we're going to be with for the rest of our life. And that's ourselves. So, you know, we need to be we need to be our own best friend, you know.
True. True.
And when you have these values, you even enjoy life much more. Don't you think?
You breathe differently. You breathe, you know, your physiology differs. It's like you said, you become tall.
Yeah, exactly. You become taller and prouder. And I think when I say proud, I mean that you are proud of who you are. You acknowledge yourself. You go from liking yourself to loving yourself for being exactly who you are with this fingerprint that only you have. And I think that is so, I mean, that's maybe the most important takeaway from here, that values make ourselves more, I could say authentic, but I mean real, more genuine. This is me, you know, it's basically, this is me and I am here, I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And I'm calm. Because I think that's one of the big issues in the world today is basically what you said earlier, that we look at pictures of fantastic lives and how people look and the clothes they're wearing. And then we kind of think that we have to go towards that, but we don't. Our path is somewhere else. And that builds character and it builds strength, humor, and lots of nice feelings for life, which is basically like having a birthday every day. And then I think that's important, you know, to have that good feeling.
Of course. And actually it builds your identity, your unique identity. And everybody is unique in life. And everybody has to realize it and find out what makes him or her unique. And one of the things that make us unique is our values.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And
we suggest everybody who was here tonight with us, thank you very much, first of all, for being with us, for writing all these nice comments. And we suggest that you should write down 5 or 10 values, whatever serves you best, and then prioritize and start living on your own values. The quality of your life will change. The difficulty of the decisions of your life will change, and finally you will be aligned to your own feeling, to your own way of evaluating your life.
Mm.
Mm?
And it's spring now, so it's a good time to do to declutter or reorganize, to delete something, to throw something out, and to really have a look at what is important for me here, what is really important, what do I need in order to breathe, to be happy, to be me. So
it's the first day of spring, so let's bring light and clarity to our lives. We can make a decision here and now to do it and live a happy spring period in our lives.
Yeah. So when you kind of ask yourself the questions, just remember when your head goes, oh my God, I don't know, when you get tired of this because it's a tiring process, just lean into it. Just trust the process, go for a walk, and then before you know it, things will happen. And just trust it. Just trust the process, because your subconscious is working, and that's so important.
And sometimes the subconscious doesn't work on your benefit, but against your benefit. So watch it out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. So it's use the whole of yourself and have a fantastic spring day. Are you having holidays for spring in Greece?
No, we don't.
No.
We just enjoy the nature in spring, and we smell all the beautiful flowers, the colorful flowers. It's really fantastic. It's really fantastic.
Same here. It's fantastic. So we are lucky to be able to be part of the new changes here. So
we are. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you everything for being everybody for being with us. Everybody that will see us after we finish the live. Catherine Wu, I love you so much. Thank you very, very much for this wonderful conversation each Sunday. And I see you next Sunday at the same time. Michalis sent God kväll. He found it earlier than me.
There you go. Kalinetta Eparisto, thank you so much for being with us, and good luck with clearing out your house and build your foundation that gives you clarity, solidity, and more smiles and good feelings.
Yes. Bye. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
See you. Bye.
See you next Sunday.
See you.